Pig was a really interesting movie. I think very similar to Green Knight. I haven't seen Green Knight yet, but from what I hear, both films suffer from trailer expectations. I think a lot of people go into both these films expecting one thing from the movie, and because their expectations are in one place and the film is totally something different, it leads to mixed results. Whereas some people absolutely have hated The Green Knight. I mean, there's a lot of reviews that say The Green Knight is one of the worst movies of all time. I haven't seen it yet again. People pretty unanimously like Pig, and the people that dislike it don't hate it, right? I think Pig was a movie that was received fairly well. And I think if you are going into this movie expecting a revenge story or like a John Wick knockoff, and that's really what you want, you're going to be disappointed. Because what Pig is at its core is actually a meditation on grief and loss. I thought Pig was very beautiful. I thought it was well acted. I thought it was a very interesting meditation on food and the restaurant world. And there were some elements of this film that I really enjoyed. Mainly, for those of you who've seen it, I would say this interaction and this monologue is one of the coolest interactions since Hannibal Lecter talked to Clarice. It kind of has like this uncanny sage like undertone in it, where it's almost as though Nicolas Cage's character can see through people and see through characters, and it is a very beguiling quality. And I think Nicolas Cage's character, it's interesting because in his very last film, what was it, Wendell's Wonderland, or basically the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, he plays a very similar character in the sense that they're both very like brooding, quiet. But this movie kind of beautifully fills out the story of a man who experienced grief, whereas Willie's is just kind of a torture porn action movie. And so what I would say is that Pig is a movie worth watching. I think Pig is a relatively good, successful movie, especially for an era when we don't get a lot of like original IP. I applaud this film in that sense that it is a very original story. It's executed in a very original way. I don't think you will have seen a movie like Pig. Now, with all of those very positive things being said, it's not a perfect movie. And forgive me when I say that, that's not me trying to be like overly critical of it. This is like me trying to just be honest. I think at times even Pig doesn't know what Pig is. It's kind of like it's almost like the hyper pop version of an art film. And I mean that in the sense that like when I listen to hyper pop, I hear reggae and I hear dubstep and I hear pop music and I hear like, it's like a cacophony. This film is not a cacophony, but it is kind of like this Pollock style spattering of like moments and themes and film types. Like you have kind of a John Wick Fight Club arc in the movie, which is very strange. And then you have like a bicycle thief kind of motif. And then you also have like grieving characters connecting in almost like just like a straight up drama way. And some of the elements of the world feel a little uncanny, like the underground world of truffle farming seems a bit intense. Like for a real world depiction, even in a heightened film form, it still feels like you are in an uncanny reality rather than just a story told within our reality in a sense. And if I'm going to be completely blunt, his character that is supposed to be arguably, I guess, the greatest chef of all time cooks this. And I'm going to be honest, it doesn't look appetizing. It looks dry and it looks very undersaturated because that's the theme of the movie. But I mean, just from like a visual aesthetic, if you're telling a story about like the mythic greatest chef ever to live, make the food look tasty. Again, this is very nitpicky because the film is gorgeous. The film is absolutely gorgeous. And this is being very nitpicky, but this is just something that like my sensibility as a filmmaker is like, give me some pretty food. Give me some sexy food. The characters felt a little thin in my opinion. The food wasn't beautiful. And I thought there were times when I would have liked a little more to happen. Again, this doesn't need Thanos or Superman throwing someone through a wall. But for my taste, it's Nick Cage hunting down a pig. Maybe we can get a bit weirder with that. The other thing that really bothered me, and I don't know if this bothered anyone else, and I don't think it gives anything away, Nicolas Cage is bloody for the entirety of this movie. And it takes place over the course of like 5 days. And he's just bloody. Even when he's cooking this meal, he is so dirty and bloody to the point where I'm like, I would never eat that. I would never eat that food if a dirty, bloody, homeless Nicolas Cage handed me this food. And maybe I'm just too stupid and it was like another visual motif for grief. I don't know. Probably. There are some people that this film will absolutely speak to you. It will absolutely just throttle your love muscle and really turn you on. And for other people, it just won't be there. I don't think anyone will outright dislike this film. I think it has something for everyone. In terms of it definitely holds frame. There are some people I respect who think this is the best film made in years. Red Letter Media called this the best film since Witch, which I thought was a very interesting take, seeing as though they're such different projects to compare the excitement of one over the other. But I really respect Red Letter, and I really like what they do. And so let me just say that this film is what I would rate as like a very solid, if I'm giving this a letter grade, it's like a very solid B. I give Pig an 84 out of 100. I really enjoyed it. I think you should go see it. And I hope we get more films like it. That is the review.